South Africa A took on India A in the second unofficial test. It was day one of this particular test at Bloemfontein. South Africa struggled. 233 for 7 in on day at the end, by the end of day one. It wasn't something to be excited about from a South African batting perspective. The Sarel Erwe took some time to get at the crease, to get himself in, and then went out for 38. And it was Reinhard van Tonder, 34, Zubair Hamza, 31, Siritemba Klashile, 32, and George Linder throwing his wicket away on 44, and Marco Jansen, 38, not out by the end of play. So we're hoping that Marco Jansen can push on a pitch that he's quite familiar with, in conditions that he's quite familiar with, and pushing on to get that half century to push South Africa into a better position. Hats off to the bowlers from an India bowling perspective, which I'm going to be asking Aditya about today. But Nafti Saini bowling excellently, even got a wicket off a no ball. Then we have Ishan Poral, who was very, very good. 2 for 26 at an economy of 1.92 in 13.3 overs. It was excellent from him. And there were a couple of other wickets as well, which we'll get into. But first and foremost, I want to say thank you to the BCCI and thank you to India and their players as well, because with everything going around the world currently with regards to COVID-19 and flights getting cancelled and all of those type of things, and borders being closed to South Africa, India and BCCI have decided to play this particular series, complete the series, as well as allow India to travel to South Africa as well and play the Test series and the ODIs and the T20s. Obviously, bar nothing that everything goes well from a South African point of view. So we're going to be discussing the match on today's show. It's going to be a quick update, guys, from our side, just getting to the discussion about some of the players in this particular team. And we're going to look ahead at day 2. To the guys that have not subscribed to the channel yet and you're new to this channel, please subscribe. Click that notification bell for all future videos. Also subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. The link is in the description. Every issue is 100% free, including the latest issue. So go ahead and do that right now. Let's get straight into today's content. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host, Khalid. This is my co-host, Aditya, and today we'll be discussing day 1 of the second unofficial test between India A and South Africa A. A contest that I really was hoping that some of the guys that didn't perform in the first match, that they would come to the party in this match. Most of the time, you'd see someone do well in match, and they most likely won't do well in match 2. So Peter Malan obviously going out early, so it puts a lot of pressure on the rest of the guys to actually perform. And Sarel Erwe looked like he was getting himself in, but then I would say majority of these guys were maybe played incorrect shots, or they maybe misread the conditions a little bit, or whatever the case may be. I would say majority of them threw their wickets away, and they could have been a lot better. I was hoping that a guy like Reinhard van Tonder would kick on in conditions that suit him, but I think that this has got nothing to do with him as a cricketer. I think this is just a rut that he's currently in. I think this may be something that he needs to just get over some hurdles this season, because he struggled this season. And every cricketer has gone through this. They've gone through and had an off season. I mean, not every cricketer goes and scores runs consecutively 3 times in a row. It's very seldom in South African cricket that we see this. If you look at some of the top guys in South Africa over the last couple of seasons, they have a dip in form in at least 1 out of 5 games. I mean, on 1 out of 5 seasons, sorry. So these kind of Reinhardt's off season in a way, you can say, because he hasn't really been hitting those massive hundreds that we saw him hit last season and in his first season. But hopefully he will grow in this particular series. There's still enough time for him to really get his form and show what he's capable of. Zubair Hamza was thrown into this mix of a year after the Netherlands series was called off, and I was happy to see that. But unfortunately, he also never came to the party in this particular match. George Linder being as close as possible before throwing his wicket away, as a lot of people will describe it. But I have to hats off to the India bowlers. And that's Aditya as the perfect man to talk to. What impressed you the most about these India bowlers? Because this pitch looked like there was something in for the seamers, and they really proved how lethal they can be.
I think the most important part of the performance today was that they learned from their mistakes in the first game. We even in the last game, we knew that in the first hour or so with the new ball, the bowlers could make the ball talk. They did that today for a longer period of time, and there was it was a proper contest between bat and ball. You really had to be tight today in order to survive that bowling. And look, some of these guys, Navdeep Saini, for example, he bowled really well today. He's experienced. He's been around the Indian team. He's played the IPL, and he can bowl quick. He can clock 150 consistently. So I'm glad to see him put in a performance, because in recent times he has been sort of down the pecking order a little bit, for being predictable and things like that. But he played well. Um, at all the other bowlers, Ishan Purel did well too. Saurabh Kumar I was surprised to see Saurabh Kumar selected for this test match. Um, he's an all-rounder. Uh, but all in all, very impressed with the performance of the Indians today. I thought the captaincy was good too. He rotated his five bowlers well, and then ultimately ended up using seven, including Abhimanyu Ishwaran and I don't know who else bowled. There's one more over. But yeah, I think all in all, from an Indian perspective, very happy to see them take wickets and also restrict South Africa to just 233 runs after 85 overs. That's not typical Test match play. So yeah, I guess congratulations to India, very well done. As for South Africa, I think in series like this, the lesson is we saw that South Africa had the skill to score big hundreds, as we saw in the first game. Um, the challenge for South Africa is that they need to be able to do it game after game. We've seen in the past with the national team as well that they go well in one game and then there's a dip in the next game. Sometimes you have to switch on even more in that second game, because you know that the opposition, particularly a quality opposition, is going to come back hard. So you need to be switched on for that. And I don't know if that was missing today, but I guess credit to India for bowling as well as they did.
I mean, we could see that the conditions were there was something in it for the bowlers, and also it was a pitch that kind of was trying to give an even contest between bat and ball. You could see that, like Werner saying here in his comment section. I think it's a great analysis. It was good to see that the pitch made it for better contest between bat and ball. You could see that the batters felt in, set throughout, did not feel in or set throughout, even after facing 80 balls. Some poor shots and good bowling, and that's true, and that's 100% a great way to summarize everything. You know, it's chances like these and moments like these that you hope that some of these guys will really step up and show what they're capable of, because this is the opportunity to show that they can take the next step and go up into international cricket, because this is the next best step after playing domestic cricket. So I'm hoping that our guys take their chances as soon as when they get the opportunity, no matter how long it takes for them to get in, no matter how long it takes for them to score runs. I mean, I would go as far as saying just be selfish and worry about yourself, but that doesn't teach you good teams. That doesn't teach you good team team skills and how to be cohesive amongst each other. But you work in this environment. You get this one opportunity to be able to score big and put yourself into, into the team. I guess just be selfish and score the runs so you can get into the side. I mean, That should be your mindset now. There are some. It's such a short turnaround also because you're part of the SA side and you're trying to be a team unit in such a short space of time as well. So credit to the captain and everybody else to get the guys together. But ultimately, a lot of these guys are on their own. They need to see it like that and put runs on the good performances because it will help the team. Because at the end of a SIA tour, you're not really looking at I don't think people are looking at the result as much as individual performances. I think we will be going into this at the end of the day, going into the backlog and seeing who scored runs, who took wickets, and then say, okay, cool, these guys maybe need to be put into the first team or not, or need to go back to domestic cricket and play their trade. I have to say though that I was a bit disappointed that someone like Jason Smith lost his place in the side because he did do well in the first unofficial test. So I was hoping that he would get some more opportunities now at the SAA level. Zubair Hamza coming straight back into the side, Jason Smith losing his place. So it was one of those things that I thought that Jason needed a little extra time actually to show what he's capable of. It was unfortunate that he got that opportunity. Um, I was though impressed with Zubair Hamza and Sinite Mclashile's partnership. They looked so settled. I really thought they were going to kick on and really put on a decent partnership and go further and get their milestones. Unfortunately, losing their wickets.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think it just felt like the nerves might have taken over a bit, and uh, just the fact that, as Werner very rightly said, even after facing 80 balls, you didn't quite feel like the batter felt set. Uh, that can happen, but I think that's the challenge as a Test cricketer, right? Because when you play in in South Africa, for that matter, against quality bowling lineups, you're never going to get a bad ball. In all the interviews that we've done, you know, whether it's Aiden Markram or virtually every cricketer that we've interviewed has said that the difference between domestic cricket and international cricket is that you don't get bad balls. So you have to remain switched on for that period of play, and um, somewhere I feel like that might not have been the case. I think they're probably riding that momentum, but they might not have expected the sort of comeback that the Indian bowlers engineered today. But I mean, all in all, I think it's cricket. It happens. They'll, I'm sure that there might be a better batting performance in store tomorrow.
Yeah, as I said, I was very impressed with George Linder, and it backs up my points that I made about him in the week, yesterday at least, when I was talking about him as an all rounder. I think that George Linder, he always impressed me with the bat first before he's with the ball, and today showed what he's capable of with the bat. And I really think that if he performs well with the bat continuously and gets his form back with the bat, he will then there'll be no choice but to pick him in the national side at that point, because I think that if he can improve his batting and get to a level of Keshav with regards to spin, it's going to be very difficult to keep Keshav if Keshav doesn't improve his batting. So ultimately, there's a lot for George, an opportunity for George to really stake a claim for international cricket with the bat. So it's good that he got that opportunity to do so today, but unfortunately missing his milestone. But let's see, Marco Jansen. I've always spoken about his batting, always said that he has the ability. I saw how hard he hits the ball in the nets. I went to a Durban Heat training session once, and he was smashing the ball like really hard. And it was one of those things where I thought, here's an all-rounder that we can really mold. I know when you look at him and how tall he is, and some people will say he's lanky in inverted commas, but he's tall, and I mean, some people, I mean, his friends and stuff, they call him, I think, giraffe. So it shows, So some of the nicknames for him. But when you look at him, might not think better. But when you watch him play in the nets, and you'll see him in this particular game, that his batting technique is he's pretty good, and he is someone that can really push for national honors very, very soon. But I think we still need to be patient with Marco. I think we still need to be patient, give him time to settle in domestic cricket and get some form and regular form over time. Um, yeah, and that's my thought process when it comes to that, because there are quite a few young all rounders coming through the system that we really need to look after. Rwanda Swart and Michal Pretori is not really much of a youngster right now, but you could still say young. You've got Gerald Kutsia that I consider still an all rounder. Um, you've got I said Rwanda Swart and Khalid, Jason Smith. There's this Ayat Kamani now as well. There's a lot of all rounders coming through the system that can put up there, and there's Mapungwanga that I like a lot. Makonwana from the Western Province Blitzed, and I think he's excellent. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that we can talk about that are coming through, and we need to give those guys opportunities as much as possible. Final thoughts from you, Aditya?
I think all in all, it was an interesting day of cricket, because we didn't see a typical Bloemfontein type of day, where a team is, 400 for three at the end of the day. So, to see 233 for seven is actually quite refreshing in my view. And I was I was happy to see the bowlers find a way to do well on this wicket. So yeah, I think congratulations to India, uh, to George Linder as well, and Marco Janssen batted very well, um, and also the curator. Because this is exactly the sort of balance that Test cricket needs in South Africa.
Yeah, so hopefully we can get a result. That's what I think from this particular game. It will be nice to see a result and not just a draw. Thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell for all future videos, please. You know how to do that. And also subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. The link is in the description. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow with another daily show. Take care, everybody.